House called the Republican Study Committee. No, it doesn't mean Republicans are in the library studying as a committee. It was set up many years ago by a relative few dozen of the most conservative members in the Republican caucus in the House of Representatives. And the mission of the Republican Study Committee was to hold the establishment Republicans, the other Republicans in the House, accountable, to offer alternative policies, alternative legislation, to issue various press releases and so forth. When John Boehner became the Speaker of the House in 2010, carrying over to 2011, he took over the Republican Study Committee, or shortly thereafter. One of the guys who took it over, who he used to take it over with, is a guy named Scalise. They rewarded Scalise with the number 3 position in the leadership the last go-round. Scalise is from South Carolina, or excuse me, I believe Louisiana. Doesn't matter. In any event, there have been efforts to take back the Republican Study Committee, and they have failed. And the reason is about 3/4 of the Republicans in the House of Representatives have become members of the Republican Study Committee intentionally to dumb it down, to water it down, so it's no longer a conservative entity challenging the leadership. The leadership has taken it over. And so they just had an election to see who would take over this Republican Study Committee, and a Texan, a Republican, by the name of Flores, was elected. And he was running against, among others, as I recall, Louis Gohmert. I went to conservativereview.com to find out who this guy Flores is. He's terrible. Conservativereview.com, that's the gold standard, gives him a D, 69% out of 100%. Looking at his voting record over the last 6 or more years. So a guy who gets a D from conservativereview.com, just to give you an example, Mike Lee gets 100% and so forth. A guy who's not a conservative in essence, just like his predecessor, is now running the so-called Republican Study Committee. And my advice to conservatives in the House is to form a new committee because this one's dead. This is a joke. When you get a guy who gets a D from Conservative Review. And this is one of the reasons I strongly urge you to join conservativereview.com. It's absolutely free. You'll get to see my beautiful face on their website, and I make a few comments from time to time there, so you can take a look at it. These Republicans, they won big, and we have to hold their feet to the fire. I think a lot of these new senators show some promise. Just about all of them pledged to vote to repeal Obamacare. Joni Ernst, Tom Cotton, Cory Gardner, Ben Sass. Cory Gardner's already thrown in the towel. Tom Cotton's already thrown in the towel. We'll keep an eye on the others. And so over the coming months, I'm going to watch them. And we're going to check their voting record and their liberty scores at conservativereview.com to see if they're living up to the conservative principles they were elected on. There's no need to go all over the web trying to find information on your representative senators. It's all right there at conservativereview.com, absolutely free. You'll also find the latest election information, like for the Louisiana runoff, pointed commentary by conservatives such as Daniel Horowitz or Jeffrey Lord, and a lot more. Register, it's free. And you can create your own Liberty profile and keep track of which Republicans are actually making a real effort to defund and end Obamacare and to take on this amnesty. Go to conservativereview.com. It's the conservative gold standard. That's conservativereview.com. I'll give you another example. Shh, Mike, don't tell anybody. You look at this race in Louisiana with Cassidy against Landrieu. Conservative Review, looking at his record, gives him a D, 61% out of 100%. Landrieu gets an F, 2% out of 100%. So these are two pretty lousy candidates. I'm just being honest. But Cassidy is at 61% and Landrieu is at 2%. So we know what Cassidy will do as a rhino. But we also know Landrieu voted for Obamacare. She defended it. She supported it. And to me, ladies and gentlemen, that's reason enough to throw her the hell out of office. She's the last one. Other people right over there, I'm looking at my buddy Dan Bongino. Jeffrey Lord has a great piece, Karl Rove and the Suicidal Republicans. You won't see this stuff in other places. Steve Deese, great guy. Of course, our buddy Daniel Horowitz. Many others, I can't name them all. I just went on there now to check out this guy Flores. So you understand what I'm talking about, the Republican Study Committee. There's a group like that in the Senate, too, that the conservatives set up, again, to challenge the Republican establishment in both houses of Congress. But they have been usurped. They have been taken over. And so they need to start new groups.